Shalom, Most High Christ bless you. It's Bishop Kanaya with Israel in Christ. I'm here for the grand opening of a new school here in Orlando, Florida at 5380 Silver Star Road, 32808. So come out, join us, come learn the will of God and keep His commandments. With that we say shalom. You understand the weight that Adam had on his back? By one man's disobedience, we all got jammed up. That's why he told him, nah, Adam, now here, you got to go pay. You got to serve now. You said, by the sweat of your brow you shall eat bread. That's why he told him you're going to till the ground. Listen, Eve, for your disobedience, in conception, you're going to hurt. I put you in the scriptures. I'll just say again. No, it's conception. Now let's read it and go back. Yeah, in conception, thou shalt bring forth children. So you're gonna go through pain. And women, you could be healthy, but you are at your most vulnerable during child pregnancy and especially childbirth. Many women lose their lives in childbirth. You're like, there was nothing wrong with her. God said, I'm going to make you pay. Because before, all women, and even with the women today, all women are resilient women. And they say we get lively births. All women are still resilient. I mean, you're still superhuman next to the common other women, or whatever those other beasts. Those beast women. But still, you ain't at your full potential. Let's read that again. Romans 5.
Romans chapter 5 and verse 19. For as by one man's disobedience, many were made sinners. So by the obedience of one shall many be made righteous.
And that's obedience of one. That's referring to Christ. In Christ's blood, Christ's obedience, we're all going to be under him. And because of that, because Christ died, we're supposed to give our life over to him in the obedience. That's what it says, for the love of Christ constraineth us, that we no longer live to ourselves. The love of Christ will constrain us from sin. Read on.
Verse 20. Moreover, the law entered that the offense might abound.
No, give me verse 5. You in Romans 5?
Yes, sir.
No, give me verse 14.
Verse 14. Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses, even over them that had not sinned after the similitude.
Even the ones that didn't sin after Adam, death still reigned. That's what Adam's disobedience brought death into the earth. It wasn't even Eve's. It was Adam's, because Adam should have known better. But Adam did what? Listen to the woman. And then when he got caught, he tried to blame the woman. Boy, I tell you. God said, no, go back to Genesis, and we'll get back. I want to explain that point about what I was saying about, no, I want the point with the woman in that conception.
Genesis chapter 3 and verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrows.
He said unto you, woman, I'm going to greatly multiply thy sorrows. We don't.
And thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children.
And in sorrow and pain you're going to bring forth children.
And thy desire shall be to thy husband.
And thy desire shall be, your desire shall be to your husband.
And he shall rule over thee.
He had explained to her, I'm going to punish you, and he is going to rule over you, woman. He's going to rule over you. You want to listen to the next man. Huh? What you want to say? No, I want to hear you. You're so passionate about it.
Because some women in their mind think that the only reason that the Lord set the man over you is because of what your foremother Eve did. What God is he's reinforcing what he had already did before she was even here in the first place. She got beside herself and wanted the power that Adam had. He had to remind her, he's to rule over you. That's why he was made first. You wasn't even on the earth when I gave him all the commandments of what I wanted you to do. When I gave him dominion and rulership, you wasn't even on the earth yet. I want to remind you, he is to rule over you. You're not his equal. You ain't a God.
So there's a reason why I'm bringing this out. Watch this. Now, what was Eve's sin? She went into spiritual fornication. She went to serving other gods, right? And God said, for that, I'm going to punish you in childbirth, conception. In your conception, you have morning sickness, you're going to get sick, I'm going to punish you like that. Now watch this. We're going to read it someplace else. But God has been merciful, and he has enough. There's so much stuff that's on my head.
The book of 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 13. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman, being deceived, was in the transgression. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing, if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety.
So there's a reason why I'm reading this for, concerning God having mercy, and then God gets to a point where he just decides he's going to judge. It says Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman was deceived, was in transgression. Even though she was in transgression, look what it says. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing. So notwithstanding that she was deceived, she'll be saved in childbearing. If she continue in faith and charity, holiness, and sobriety. It says, woman in childbearing, you're going to be all right. Even though you was deceived, you'll be okay if you what? You'll be saved if you continue in the faith. Now here's why he says all that for. Jump up. Verse 11.
1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection.
Does that mean the woman can't talk? No. Doesn't mean she can't talk. It says, let her learn in silence with all subjection under the man. Don't try to, the next verse is going to explain it.
But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence.
But he says, I suffer not a woman to teach. So when it's saying I suffer not a woman to teach me, there's men that can edify. If your sisters are out there and somebody asks you of your faith, you can certainly explain to them, open the Bible and explain. That's not what it's talking about. It's when there's able-bodied men in here, you're like, no, I got a precept. I got to expound on it. Why was he explaining? Why was Paul explaining to Timothy? Why did he say what he said in Corinthians about the order? Because women was trying to usurp authority over them. Why? Because they were worshiping other gods, matriarchal gods, and women felt that they had a place. Today, a woman out there worshiping Oprah and Beyonce. I suffer him not to teach, but I suffer the woman to be in silence and follow under the man. Now he said, I will save you in childbearing if you do that. Let's see God being merciful, and then just literally having a point where he had enough, and he said, enough is enough with this. Genesis 31.
Genesis chapter 31 and verse 31. What's 29?
Yeah, go ahead.
It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt. But the God of your father spake unto me yesternight, saying, take thou heed that thou speak not to Jacob, either good or bad. And now that thou wouldest needs be gone, because thou sore longest after thy father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? And Jacob answered and said to Laban, because I was afraid. For I said, peradventure, thou wouldest take by force thy daughters from me.
What was that?
Sir?
Yeah, read on.
With whomsoever thou findest thy gods, let him not live.
So now he told Laban, Jacob told Laban, listen, I don't have your gods. Laban was up in the land of Haran. Remember we read earlier Haran? That's where Laban was. That was where he lived up. Laban worshipped other gods. So now Jacob left with his wives, and he said, peradventure, if you find these gods with me, you could kill whoever have it. Because I know I didn't take it. Read on.
With whomsoever thou findest thy gods, let him not live.
Read on.
Before our brethren discern thou what is in thine with me,
Read on.
and take it to thee. For Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen it.
Now, Jacob didn't know his wife Rachel had stolen it. She took those gods. Remember it says, well, let me just read on. Read on.
Verse 33. And Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the two maidservants' tent, but he found them not. Then he went out of Leah's tent and entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the images and put them in the camel's furniture and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not.
So Rachel took him, put him underneath her seat, and she sat down. And her father could not find him. Read on.
And she said to her father, let it not displease my lord, that I cannot rise up before thee. For the custom of woman is upon me.
She says, listen, I'm on my menstrual. Pop, I can't get up. But she had those gods. Now watch this. Now, the Most High God is a long-suffering power. She had it, she took it. Then he never found it. Laban went back, she left with her husband. Let's go to chapter 35. 35 and 1.
Genesis chapter 35 and verse 1. And God said unto Jacob, arise, go up to Bethel, and dwell there, and make there an altar unto God, that appeared unto thee when thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother. Then Jacob said unto his household, and to all that were with him, put away the strange gods that are among you.
Wait a second, he's still talking about strange gods again? After Rachel seen her father was coming and she almost lost her life, she wasn't daunted with no fear. He's still talking about to his household, put away from these strange gods. Get rid of this stuff. Read on.
That are among you, and be clean, and change your garments.
So guess what? Jump on down. Verse 18.
Verse 18. And it came to pass, as her soul was in departing, for she died, that she called his name Benjamin, which his father called him Benjamin. And Rachel died and was buried in the way to Ephraim.
Verse 17.
Verse 17. And it came to pass, when she was in hard labor, that the midwife said unto her, fear not, thou shalt have this son also.
She was in childbirth, and she died in childbirth. Why? She didn't put away the gods that were before her. But the point, that's why we was reading in 1 Timothy 2, it says that she be saved in childbearing. The woman usurped not authority over the man. She was usurping authority over her husband because he said, get rid of it. But the point behind it is that God was merciful until he had enough. And then when he had enough, he said, she's not listening, kill her now, because she's just not hearing. She has to die. So when it says woman be saved in childbearing, I know many sisters might have been taught that you have to get married to get the kingdom. That's not true. That's not what it's talking about. It's talking about being saved in childbirth if you fall in subjection under the man. Do not usurp authority over you. That's the point.
Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcasts, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.